I wanted to try something different this year, that I was really feeling kind of like, what am I doing with the makeup stuff? Like, I love doing makeup, I love getting ready and doing all this stuff, but it's like, I don't really want to do that every time. And like, we've been doing this together, you and me and the camera, the three of us have all been doing this together for approximately 5 years, almost 5 years in December. And you know, we talk about this kind of in my best of the year videos, but I really love music. Like, I'm just like, I'm interested in it, all the aspects. I'm not a person who is interested in being a musician. I am a person who is interested in the business of music, and all of that kind of surrounds it. With that said, I have opinions about music, and I would describe my taste as like wherever on the like square, wherever on the plane you would put like basic, like put a little further to the left. Like, I love pop music, like the functional pop music, not Hot 100 pop music, you know? Genre pop, not popular. I really like it, but I'm also a weird little numbers nerd and a little freak. And as we've talked about, I have a Spotify. I have a Spotify. I have an Excel spreadsheet with all sorts of information about my thoughts as I've listened to these albums. And the thing about these is that I just kind of have vibes and feelings. I'm just going by vibes, but I do have like thoughts about the vibes. Today I want to talk about Ariana Grande. I've tentatively been calling this girly pop ranking, and we'll see what, yeah, girly pop ranking, Ariana Grande. We have all of her albums. I believe I don't have the re-release of Yours Truly, and I don't have the live album ranked on here, but I have all of them ranked. I have some thoughts about each one of them, and I feel like I can really go into the level of depth I want to go into this, because I love Ariana Grande. My pop girly ranking for Ariana Grande is, I have loved Ariana Grande. I have loved Ariana Grande since single one. She was always a star to me, and I credit 2014 as the time in which I fully understood music as like pop music, as like what it was, and could like understand, like see the like gamification of the charts and how it works. I got really into poptimism, and I really got into poptimism. The Kool-Aid was drank. Opinions were made. I was formed in these years. 2014 to 16 was the longest 2 years of my life, as I took a really, 2014 to 16 was the longest 2 years of my life. They just were. Tough time to be me. But during this time, I really got to absorb everything about my everything, and into Dangerous Woman. Like, I know that album. With the performance, all the award show performances, the VMAs, the AMAs, the Grammys, I was hooked by Ariana Grande those years. Ariana Grande and Pete were a train wreck that one simply could not escape from. You could not stop watching. The two things that were like my pop culture things was like award shows and then SNL. And he was constantly there making jokes about her. It just was a train wreck that you couldn't look away. And Mac Miller and Ariana Grande were supposed to be a Hollywood love story for the ages that you would follow, like Bradgelina and, you know, whatever the fuck was happening with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, the other Jennifer. But that's parasocial brain rot. They were people who very clearly loved each other, but had their own issues going on that stopped one or the other party from truly being able to be what the other one needed. And it just, you know, it ended sadly. And Mac Miller and Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande were all deeply troubled people. Mac's vices got the better of him, Pete's mental illness, Ariana Grande's trauma, just all of those things became toxic soup that ended up making a very beautiful album. With Mac Miller entering his relationship, with Mac Miller losing his life in the nebulous time that Ariana Grande was entering one of the most public relationships she would have and I have ever seen, and releasing one of the most lovesick honeymoon phase album, and then his passing, and then Pete Davidson becomes more unhinged than ever. He just, you know, because he was unhinged, he behaved embarrassingly, and you can both be mentally ill and embarrassing as a person to those around you. It's how you atone and what strides you're making. And I mean, things got weird at the end, and then Kim Kardashian happened, and, you know, John Mulaney, Olivia Munn. So they break off their engagement, and the second biggest Fuck That Man album is released. If you're wondering, my ranking is Lemonade, Thank You Next, probably Star-Crossed, Rolling Up the Welcome Mat, and Dead Poets Society. I have opinions about that album. I have to re-listen to it. 2018 to 2019, Ariana Grande is the biggest pop star in the world. You know, Taylor's taken a Lover-shaped L, and it's just, and Lover is one of my favorite songs, but, you know, but like, she was the biggest thing going. Rounding into 2020 with Positions, a beautifully forgettable album that I only sometimes even think about. I think about the singles a lot, but I find that I don't love it as much as I loved Sweetener, Thank You Next. Eternal Sunshine is new, and while I know it is a response to the accusations of adultery, I can't focus on that as much as I can focus on the fact that it shows how much Ariana Grande loves R&B and music, and like talented people who are talented flocking together to make beautiful music. And Troye Sivan's there. He's also very talented, but we'll get into it. The Boy Is Mind remix is amazing, and all I can think about is divorce! But ending currently in the future with Eternal Sunshine as a positive, like, you know, yeah, Ariana Grande. Like I haven't loved a pop star this much as I love Britney Spears. Like, let's talk about Ariana Grande. That's my little spiel. Let's get this rank a cookin'. Okay, my girly pop ranking, I think off Vibe. Like, okay, so I ranked this, and I ended up ranking, I ranked it twice, and then I went back and like went based off of my own thoughts. Is that, so this is based off of my Fear the Spotify ranking Excel spreadsheet, and then we'll go through my actual ranking. So I have it labeled as, and some of these have similar rankings, and so I just went through them, but my ranking as of right now is My Everything, Yours Truly, Thank You Next, Positions, Eternal Sunshine, Sweetener, Dangerous Woman, which I feel like is heresy, but these are based off of my number ranking out of 10, is that I gave Yours Truly a 7, I gave My Everything an 8, Dangerous Woman gets a 9, Sweetener gets a 10, Thank You Next gets a 10, Positions gets a 9, and Eternal Sunshine got an 8, and you might be saying, Megan, that doesn't make sense, what you just said. And I'm saying, I don't know. So, after thinking about it now, based not off of like an accumulative, because some of these albums I've listened to in a run, like I can generally listen to My Everything and Yours Truly kind of like back to back. Dangerous Woman is its own thing. Sweetener and Thank You Next go together, and Positions and Eternal Sunshine go together. I don't know what to tell you, but my decided ranking after that was that yours truly is 7th. My Everything is 6th, which is Eternal Sunshine I have at 5th place. Positions I have at 4th. Dangerous Woman at 3rd. Sweetener at 2nd, and Thank You Next at 1st. Which I think is still probably contentious thought. However, that's how I like my albums. I haven't fully re-listened to Positions, or Dangerous Woman's, and Eternal Sunshine for that matter. But Sweetener was the first album that I paid for on iTunes, like full price. Like I had to have it that night because I didn't have Spotify at the time, and I didn't want to listen to the ad, and I just went, give it to me. But like, Dangerous Woman made me an Arinator. Like I love that album. It's like the hardest thing you can be is just like a 22-year-old ingenue. I say as a 26-year-old woman. But yeah, that's just kind of what I have here. While I have us both here, thoughts here. You ever figure out how like pop stars and their fans and how they age, that as the median age of that fan increases, that pop star's fan, they become less and less ravenous? I mean, it's hard to care about #1 debuts when you have a car payment that is due, when your shift starts at 3, you need to get going. It's really hard to get feral for someone when there's a monthly insurance premium to pay and rent's due on the 1st. You see this a lot with the Beehive. Not only is Beyonce an artist that had a full near 20-year career before streaming became a thing, and comparing her total numbers to, say, Taylor Swift. And while she broke only 5 years prior to a streaming run, Taylor seems to have a younger fan base, which transfers into switching over to streaming faster. Which is like something I feel like no one ever talks about when they're like doing like stream, like people talk about it when they're like, Taylor Swift is bigger than Michael Jackson, and people be like, he existed for like 40 years before he was dead. By the time streaming was a real thing. What are you talking about? Why are you being weird? So, that. But, you ever notice that Nicki Minaj fans seem to not have that? Unemployed behavior. Deeply unserious people. Those barbs are. I love Nicki Minaj, but barbs are scary, unserious people. You don't see Beyonce fans streaming our older music like that, because if let's say it's 2015, if I already have 5 albums at home and I don't have to listen to ads, I don't have to pay for it, why would I sign up for a service to then listen to those albums? I could just put them into my CD player if you still have it. You could put it in your computer. You know, now we've technologically aged ourselves out of having things like that, but that's something I think about a lot. Why would I listen on a streaming service to contribute to an imaginary number going up when I could listen to that? Like think of anyone who got big, like post 2009, like say a one New York rapper, like the numbers are in physical media. It's whatever. I say this to you because I noticed that with this rollout, and really with Positions as well, our stands are not only older, but also Twitter as a hellscape has kind of pushed that type of person off. Elon, you will rue the day that you ruined my community. But it just seems as though the vast majority of people are less likely, the older your fan base gets, and you as an artist get, the less feral your fans are going to get, with the exception of Swifties and Barbs, as deeply unserious people. I don't know. Ruminate on that. think about it with me. I I look forward to this. I'm gonna re-listen to Dead Poet Society, and I haven't listened to Folklore yet, like all the way through. I might have in 2020, but like if it's not in the spreadsheet, it doesn't count. So I don't know. Who do you want to see me cover next? Maybe I'll do your favorite artist. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll like throw myself into the river. Maybe the barbs will get me and they'll take me right the fuck out. It will have been quite the honor to have served with all of you. You know, cunt and all that. But you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, where sometimes I talk about these things. I'm gonna try and get that posted on many of the places where that was discussed. I just kind of have a lot of feelings. And it's like, I don't want the boys to have all the fun getting to talk about their thoughts. That's what I'm tired of. No more male critics of female pop stars. No more.